everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Wednesday and it is July 22nd. On our show today, we have three guests. We have Kristen Orr, who's here from the Towers, and then we have another in your neighborhood with Sunshine Luty and Debbie Byrne. So we find out what everybody's doing in their respective areas and how they're coping with our stay-at-home orders. And the Towers as well. And they're talking about all the folks that live over there and all the fun things that they're doing. Okay, we have a couple of meetings. We have the special GRF Business Committee 2021 budget meeting, and that'll be at 10 a.m. And then we have the GRF Special Board 2021 budget meeting, which will be at 1:30 p.m. And if you want to watch those, you can go to lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. Okay, our normal resources for COVID-19, you can go to ochealthinfo.com where you can get all the numbers by the city and zip code and a variety of other areas that you can break out. cdc.gov, staying healthy and safe with COVID-19. covid19.ca.gov, you can follow along with the governor's reopening plans. They also have a county hotline now, which you can call 714-834-2000. Or you could go to our website, which is lagunawoodsvillagealerts.com, and we update that as much as we can with any new information that is received. If you would like to email us, you can email us at info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. Okay, let's take a look at our weather. It's still overcast this morning. It's been a little bit longer overcast these days because the temperatures aren't quite as hot. We have 76-61 today, 76-60 tomorrow. By the weekend, we will warm up, but not too hot. Should be beautiful. 77-64, Saturday 79-63, and Sunday 78-64. Our sunrise this morning was 5:57, and our sunset will be at 7:58 tonight. And Alan, thank you so much for this great photo. Everybody's out there exercising, doing their social distancing, so I love it. Great photo. Thanks, Alan Clark. Please send any photo that you have that you show what's going on in the community or something beautiful in the area to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. When we return, we will have Kristen Orr from the Towers. Right there, you just saw it. Stay tuned.
We know that we're asking Americans to do a lot right now. So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible to this virus.
A question I often get asked is why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
Social distancing is really physical separation of people.
It's what we refer to when we ask people to stay at least 6 feet apart.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants, not going to theaters where there are a lot of people. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others who might actually be infected or infect you.
We all have a role to play in preventing person-to-person spread of this disease, which can be deadly for vulnerable groups. For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Welcome back. Today I have Kristen Orr visiting with us from the Towers. Hi, Kristen, how are you?
Hi, I am good. Lisa, how are you?
Great. And, before we came on, we were talking about how we're trying to deal with something that seems to be a little bit longer than what we originally were planning for with COVID-19. And I know your folks over there, that's got to be pretty tough, but, sounds like you guys are doing a pretty good job. So give me just an overview of how everybody's feeling.
That's a good question. I think just like everyone else in life, our family and neighbors and friends, all that, everybody goes up and down. And luckily, we don't all do that at the same time and take one big crash. I think it's the dialogue around here is really honest. And so people are free to say, I'm feeling really lonely. And, then maybe staff will go out of our way to find a way to encourage that person that day or call some other residents and say, hey, call so-and-so today. And then there are times where even I find myself low, and my staff jumps in and they can see it and they say, go take a nap or take a day off. And so I think we're all just trying to kind of take care of each other, but be honest with the fact that this is not an easy situation for residents, for staff, for anybody.
Exactly.
And reminding each other that we're in it together, even though we have a level of isolation that we have to adhere to.
Right. And the other day I was speaking with social services and they were talking about a program that they have called the Buddy Program. So it sounds like you're initiating something like that on your own, internally, which is really a great source because, as you know, we are in it all together, and building each other up is all we can do right now, especially when we can't give each other hugs, or, you have to kind of verbally just tell everybody it's going to be okay.
No, isn't it weird? Like, even occasionally if somebody accidentally will touch me or hug me, it's like, oh, shocking, because you're so used to not having that. And so it is, yeah, and that weighs on us. And like we were talking about before, to not know when that finish line is going to arrive can also be really emotionally and mentally taxing. And so I think also speaking that out loud and saying, we don't know when the finish line is going to come, but we're going to live life one day at a time and make it as normal as possible while using precautions that we know we have to have in place.
Right. And actually, when you said that you're a little, kind of set back when somebody does sort of reach out, it's such an unusual position for us to be in. So how would you say, people, you're dealing with COVID exposures? I mean, what is it you do for those folks?
For people who potentially have been exposed, or just how are we trying to prevent exposure?
How are you responding to it if somebody was, how have you been preparing?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And my answer would have changed along the way because I've learned so much. And as a staff and a community, we've learned so much since March. We've had 3 different situations where we had to have a more emergent type response to COVID. And each response has been slightly different because of the exposure and the tracing. And a lot of times, I think too, when you're not super primary as far as exposure goes, the county doesn't jump right in. And so then, like, I've kind of learned how to do a little bit of that tracing. And we have a log at our reception area where every single person coming in and out of the building that is not a resident checks in with the unit they're reporting to, how long they're going to be there, the nature of their visit, they get their temperature checked, and we take their phone number. That way, for tracing purposes, if we need that information, we can go back and do it. So yeah, I mean, there's been a level of response to the point where we've had everybody in the building do a light version of a voluntary quarantine. We've never been on mandatory quarantine, but residents of the towers are really, really responsive to staff direction when it comes to that, because I think they know that we're making choices to try and keep everybody as healthy and safe as possible. Mm-hmm. So everybody does a good job of kind of following suit with the plan we come up with each time.
And the last time we had talked to you, you had, it was very early on, and you guys were doing lots of activities outside and people were coming onto their balconies and things like that. Are you still doing that today?
We are. Yeah, we have Tony Rogers still come pretty frequently. He was here on the 4th of July. And so normally the 4th of July is one of our biggest parties all year long. And so it's like this mental shift of like, I think before, when we thought COVID was going to end any day, we'd say, let's have that party next week. Let's have that party next month. But now it's like, nope, let's figure out how to have that party at 50% energy, but we're having it anyway, because that's the best we can do right now. So Tony performed in front of the building and on both sides in the back. The kitchen served the same kind of barbecue food they would normally, and they sent a flag in everybody's bag, so everybody had their own little piece of decor. Yeah, we're just kind of trying to be creative, figure out how to keep the spirits high and things as normal as possible.
And I think that's what many people are trying to do, is they really are trying to come up with really cool stuff. In fact, the parade that they did in the village on July 4th was really creative. Everybody decorated their golf carts and they wore crazy clothes. And so, I mean, the spirit is there. We just have to do it in a different way, like you mentioned. So I think that's great. You're doing whatever you can to make sure that those folks are trying to live somewhat of a normal situation.
Yes. Yeah. And then in turn, I know I've talked about this before when we've been on, but in turn, the residents also recognize that as staff, we're worn out and we have a life outside of here where we have worries and kids who might not be going back to school and all that. And so they are turning around and like supporting us in new ways, whether that's buying the whole staff breakfast. We have one resident who is so generous and does that on a pretty regular basis. We have, treats and little, just people are so thoughtful with their notes, because I think they realize that everybody's in a tough spot and we all need that little extra push. And so it really is very much going both ways.
Right.
And that's kind of a beautiful thing in our community. This is a very special place. I know it's not the best time to come and visit, but I would invite anyone to come and pick up on a little bit of our energy. It's really
awesome. I mean, it sounds great. And along those lines of kindness, you said you wanted to, make sure that everybody is very kind to one another, but it doesn't sound like you're having too much of an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask my staff. There are some days where they're like, I'm staying away from Kristen today. Like we obviously all have our times, but overall, people are, and maybe this is true, this is mostly my world right now, so I don't experience the outside world a whole lot. Maybe it's true of a lot of communities, like everyone is choosing to rise to the occasion and be at their best, knowing that we have no other choice. And to bring negative energy is not going to be helpful to anyone. And this community seems to really understand that. It's really refreshing.
I like it. And then you were mentioning that the staff are really trying to come together as well. What are some of the cool things that they've come up with, just out of the blue?
Yeah. Okay. So one of our lifestyle coordinators, we used to have a birthday dinner every month that residents really, really looked forward to. And if it was your birthday month, you would go and invite your family, and we'd make a big deal over birthdays. And so she took it upon herself to think of like a birthday kit. And so she takes this same kit and decorates the person's door. So when they wake up on their birthday, their door is decorated. They have a little cupcake waiting for them. There's a card signed by staff. We'll sing happy birthday from the front on birthdays and have people come out on their patios, things like that. Next week, they're doing an ice cream social where she's decorating an ice cream cart and having all the different toppings available, and then going to put music on each floor as they arrive. And when you hear the music, you open your door and get to come and select your sundae. So trying to bring the party to people in a safe way, whether it be in the hallways or outside. Those are a couple of things. I've been really thankful for that department, because they've really done a good job of keeping spirits high.
That is great. I mean, that sounds super fun, actually.
It is. I can't wait. I hope they come down my hall.
Yeah, really. I'd play the ice cream music. I like Ice Cream Man, is coming to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We should do the ice cream truck. Everybody knows that jingle. Doesn't even matter if you feel like ice cream. If you hear that jingle, you're running outside.
Ready for ice cream. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Well, make sure you get pictures of that, because that'll be a great.
Okay.
That'll be fun. Well, other than that, I'm really glad to hear that you guys are doing well and everything's going as well as expected. You really can. It really shows that you love your job. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I do, and I think most of the staff does. Probably more than ever, even though it's harder right now. Everyone's pretty thankful to be working where we do.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you, my dear. It's good to see you. We'll see you again soon.
Lisa. Okay, sounds good.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.
And we'll be right back after this.
To help stop the coronavirus, the CDC recommends to avoid contact with people who are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue, then throw the tissue in the trash. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Stay home when you are sick, except to get medical care. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. For more information, contact the CDC. A message from Village Management Services.
Welcome back. Well, today I have another In Your Neighborhood virtually, and I am joined by Sunshine Lute and Debbie Byrne. Well, thank you both for joining me. I really appreciate it. How are you both doing?
I'm great.
Debbie, how about you?
I'm doing surprisingly well after being quarantined for 5 months.
Feels like a lifetime. I don't know about
It does
you.
feel like
Wow.
forever. Feels like forever.
Yeah, it has been crazy. But nonetheless, you guys have found a ton of things to do that you have been involved with even before COVID-19. But I'm really happy to see that you guys have been able to adapt. So, Sunshine, tell me just a couple of things that you guys have, that you found to really that you enjoy during this time.
Well, the one thing that I think has improved lives during this time frame, very strange, but this ability to Zoom where we're actually talking face to face with people. I'm doing it with my family. I'm doing it with my members of the group that I'm in, of other groups, and it's fun. It's really fun. That part is a good thing.
That, and I would agree. This is a really good thing because when I interview doctors, they don't have to leave their office. So they're way happier to do it because it only takes 15 minutes out of their time rather than an hour. And Debbie, how about you? What are you finding that's enjoyable during this time frame?
Well, I'm in 5 different musical groups, and I thought it would just be over when things shut down. And we've all managed to find ways to do it on Zoom. And my favorite is the string band, the Village String Band. And we've been Zooming once a week, and it's really fun. We can't play together because you cut each other off and the lag time. But what we do is we pick a theme each week. And then you have to find a song within that theme. So you have a week to find a song, learn it, and then we play it for each other in solos. Like we had a theme of car songs. I thought, car songs? But somebody did that song, Beep Beep, and somebody did Mercedes-Benz. And so we've just been really having fun with these themes. And I look forward to it every week. It's really a blast.
I like that. That is awesome. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sunshine.
Our theme for next week is going to be clothing. And so I'm going to sing a very, very old song, 1923, Button Up Your Overcoat. And Debbie, what are you doing?
I'm doing a song called Red Shoes, Red Uke, Red Benz, and I'm sure nobody's ever heard of it.
Oh, if I was to choose, I would choose These Boots Were Made for Walking.
Somebody's doing that one.
Someone's already doing that. That's awesome. Now, so you guys have a couple of different clubs that are overlapping. So do each one of you want to kind of talk about those, and have you split them up to decide who's talking about what?
Well, Sunshine is really involved with, of course, the Performance Group. I'm in the Men and Women's Barbershop Group, that's been a little bit more difficult to do on Zoom because it's really hard to do 4-part harmony when you can't sing together. Yeah. So we found ways where we try to record in parts, and then we had a woman that was able to put it all together, and we did a little virtual concert for the 4th of July. It's on YouTube. It was a combination of solos and this woman that was able to put these recordings together. But that's been it's not easy to do it that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you found somebody that was technical that could put that together for you, and then
she's a little younger.
Sunshine, how about you? I know you guys have been doing performances as well.
Yes, the one that was really fun for me was that July 4th concert. Learning the part and singing it with the music in your ears not on, and then so that they could put it all together. That was a pretty big task, but we did it, and it was fun. Actually, it's on my Facebook page and lots of other places, so people can watch it. But the most exciting thing for me is that we used to have a SCAD show, that's South County Adult Day Services. We used to do that every Friday, and our last live performance was March 6th. And then we were sitting with, well, now we can't share books.
Watch that microphone.
Yeah. Now we can't share our joy of music anymore, and I was pretty sad about that. Well, just a couple of weeks ago, we started having some Zoom sessions with people who are able to connect with Zoom. And so we are back to doing a show every Friday for them, and that's very exciting for me.
Oh, that's great. Now, do you go to all the different daycare centers, or is there one in particular?
Well, this one was the one that is connected. It's run by Alzheimer's OC.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a very strong connection with Alzheimer's OC. I am president of a club called Fit Brain. We just recently changed it from Alzheimer's OC. Oh, okay. And we just started the Zoom monthly meetings this month with that. And we had wonderful presentation. And next month we're going to have keeping your brain healthy with what you eat. So
Good. Who do you work on with that?
actually, the Alzheimer's OC organization arranges for the speakers. I'm basically the promo girl.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. And now, Debbie, tell me a little bit about, so the Village Spring Band, you said each person is doing, this is the car one, right? They pick a theme?
That was where we do the themes, right?
Oh, okay. Okay,
Right.
great.
And we, you know, the thing that's been nice about the Zoom is there's about 25 people in the band, and only about half are doing the Zoom. Some people just can't do it or don't want to do it. But when we used to have rehearsals, there'd be 25 of us, and you'd only kind of talk to the person next to you. And so now I'm getting to know people in the band. There's like 12 to 16 of us that do it. And so people that were just real quiet in the back and strummed, now we're all kind of interacting in a different way. And like there's this one woman who plays the ukulele, and I never heard from her, and she's doing these wonderful solos of really old American songbook stuff. So we're getting to know people on a different level, and I've really appreciated that.
That's great.
Before we started the Zooms, I didn't know these people could even sing. And here they are, they're singing, they're each taking a turn singing, and they're doing a nice job.
Yeah.
Great. Even though I know for the last, 5 months, we've been, doing our own thing with these directives and stuff. It's really nice, like you both said, that there are things that you never thought it would come out of this, and look at all these great things. I found more restaurants are becoming super creative now because they can't have indoor dining. So now they're doing outdoor stuff. So let me ask you that. So have either one of you gone out and about where you've done something really cool that you never thought would happen?
Not really.
Not
I haven't been to a restaurant. We've done takeout.
Okay.
Well, one thing was we do have an RV, and I'm really grateful to have that right now because we just got back from a week in Mammoth in the Sierra. And it's really easy to distance. You're self-contained. You have your own bathroom. You have your own kitchen. You have your own food. So we've been doing that more, and I've really been enjoying that. Another thing I've been doing that I belonged to a church in Long Beach before I moved here 4 years ago, and it was just too far to drive. And they're doing online, so I'm going back to church in Long Beach, and I'm reconnecting with people from 4 years ago. So that's been really nice.
Oh, that's great. How about you, Sunshine?
Well, we haven't been out. I only go out once a week to do the grocery shopping, which is now my job because David used to do that. And I used to love that because I don't like shopping at all. But, but it's now my job. I've been cooking more at home. And look, I've been doing other things. I've been working on my third book, getting it published. And I belong to the publishing club. And because I've done now published 2 of my own books and helped another person publish their book, they wanted me to give a presentation on how to self-publish your book, which I did this month.
Okay.
And ran out of time, so now they want me to do it again in November. So
It can be very challenging publishing a book by yourself, especially when you're trying to put it up on, doing it through Amazon. I mean, I helped a person do the same thing. It is so much work. It's unbelievable how many codes and stuff you have to follow. It's really crazy.
there's some fairly easy steps that you can take.
Oh, good.
So I prepared a 4-page document that took them through the steps. And then I tried to share it as I was doing the Zoom presentation.
Right.
And I got as far, I thought I was sharing everything. I shared the document. And when I clicked on the link to go to KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, it wasn't being shared anymore. So I'm going to have to study a bit more on how to share.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, gosh, you both are so busy. I really am. I'm happy to hear that even though you're really not venturing out to stores or restaurants, you're finding other ways to make that happen. And Debbie, when's your next RV adventure?
Well, we're going to go just to Chula Vista next month. Okay. And then in September, we're trying to plan a trip up to the Redwoods.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
And into Southern Oregon.
Oh, yeah. And watch out for all those other crazy people who think that they can drive with an RV attached, because I've heard that the RV rentals are off the charts right now.
and
Yeah.
people have no idea what they're doing. And Sunshine, what about you? What's your next adventure?
Well, I almost have my third book ready to be published. And my daughter, I've been reading her Facebook things, and she's a wonderful writer. And I said, hey, would you like to be editing my book? And she got all excited. And so she's been doing edits with Google, sending it to me. I answer her, and we're communicating that way about my book. It's really fun.
I love that. Well, I'm glad to hear from both of you. Stay healthy, enjoy all these wonderful things that you're doing, and we'll connect again maybe in a month or so.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
All right. You guys stay healthy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
And we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. The Great Plates program has been extended, and so now it has been extended through August 10th. And these are home delivered meals if you are 60 years or older. If you are in need of this service, you would call 949-382-6099, or you could visit myagewell.org, and that is where you can apply for this service and get all signed up. So that's great that they extended that. I know a lot of people are in need of that. Okay, the Equestrian Center. I misspoke yesterday. I said that they are open to the public. They are not open as of yet. But once they are open, they are going to have riding lessons, events, and clubs, just like they did before. Unfortunately, they don't anticipate opening anything up like that until next year. But nonetheless, they do have boarding available. So if you have a horse or you know somebody that has a horse and would like to board there, they should go ahead and get in touch with the Equestrian Center. And then one last thing, I wanted to remind you that on Fridays, the Age Well and Senior Services is doing Breath ATX. And this is every Friday at 11:30 in the morning. And if you would like to participate, you could email Elizabeth at atxworks.com. And then also just wanted to let you know that there's one more time, the Medical Roundtable is going to be rebroadcasted. It'll be tomorrow, July 23rd at 5:30 p.m. and then one more time next week, which is July 28th at 9:30 in the morning. Okay, let's take a look at our weather. It is looking lovely all week after the overcast burns off. It's going to be about 76, 61 today. Tomorrow, 76, 60, and then 77, 62. And by Saturday, we're going to warm up slightly, 79, 63, and Sunday, 78, 64. Nonetheless, gorgeous, gorgeous, and beautiful. So have a great day in the village today. We will see you tomorrow again at 9, and you can always watch our rebroadcast at 12:30 and 5. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
I'm very concerned that patients with stroke, heart attack, sepsis, or other medical emergencies are delaying care. Let me reassure you, it is safe and critically important that you do not ignore the signs and symptoms such as chest discomfort, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, or sudden onset of headache. If you think you may be having a medical emergency, don't wait, call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room.